He's a prince, a father, a husband, a businessman, a community leader, and a man of royal heritage. Hello and welcome to Conversation with Mrs. Pham. Prince Henry Akinyele is the District Governor-elect of Rotary International District 9111. We're here to meet the man behind the roles, to talk us through his royal beginning, the values, and the life lessons. Thank you so much, Prince Henry, for coming on Conversation with Mrs. Pham. I mean, for giving me this opportunity to come all the way from United Kingdom to do this interview with you. Thank you once again.
It's my pleasure, Miss Pham. It's my pleasure to have you here.
Right, let's get into this. Coming from a royal background, you know, this must come with a lot of expectations. You know, you want to achieve this, you want to be a role model, you know. So can we actually ask you how it is to be a prince?
Oh, thank you very much. Well, mine has come with a kind of uniqueness, you know. My biological father is not a king, you know, it is his own grandfather that was a king, and so that gave us a kind of limitations. My father is red. I mean, maybe the only one red in the family in those days. My father is actually aged almost 100 years old, so you can imagine. So the story I'm trying to say. So maybe because he determined to be educated and all that, so he, in a way, move a little away from the cultural, I mean, the palace, the principle of a thing, and
right.
so we were able to grow, you know, slightly. I mean, outside the palace. I mean, outside the traditional home.
Right.
And that has given us the strength, you know, to be more focused in life, you know, and not to put at the back of your mind that you are a prince, you are this, and you have some kind of...
I like what you said, this trying to be more focused in
right.
life.
That's right.
That's very unique, isn't it?
That's right. So my father took us out of that home, and we were grown, you know, in an environment that is exclusive of the palace and the traditional thing, until when it beckoned on us that it's our turn again to be the traditional head of our community, and that installed my blood brother, the same father, the same mother, as the key of Ifore, you know, a community in Ondo Kingdom.
A key of Ifore.
Yes. The Ifores are the first settlers
in
the present Ondos.
Right.
You know, and so the Ondo has grown to be a committee of different settlements. You know, we have the Okas, we have the Ifores, who are the first settlers. We have the Ondos that came from Oyo.
Okay.
And we also have the Dokos. You know, we have the Ekpes. All of them migrated to Ondo, and I mean to the what we call the modern Ondo today. And
the modern Ondo today.
So that is just it. Thank you very much.
So at what point did you think you wanted to build a name for yourself outside of this heritage?
Yes, sincerely, I have always loved, I wouldn't know, but by divinations, maybe by what God, I've always loved to be distinct. So growing up, even right from my youthful days, you know, I've always loved to do something different from what my peers does in those days. So I grew into want to be a leader, you know, and I was fortunate to quickly started my joining Rotary at a very younger age, you know, Rotaract, when I was going to secondary school. And even when I was in secondary school, I belonged to quite a number of
clubs
and societies and all that. As a matter of fact, I was elected, appointed as a prefect of my set when it was not even our turn. So I joined the prefect of our senior
school. What school was that?
Our school at St. Joseph's College, Ondo.
Ondo.
So I have always wanted to lead and to distinguish myself among my peers, and Rotary has sincerely assisted me to grow my lead.
But when you were in secondary, it wasn't Rotary, it was Interact Club. I
Yes,
believe
yes.
it was at
There
the
wasn't
time.
like Interact Club
At the time.
when we were in
So
secondary
we
school.
are the generations after yours.
So we were not exposed to Interact clubs, but we have quite a number of clubs. I was a member of the Dramatic Society of the schools.
All right.
I was part of the Quiz and Debating Societies, and quite a lot of other groups and within the school, you know.
You've built a successful empire for yourself. You're into a lot of things. You're into printing, hospitality, you know, giving back to people. How has the journey been for you?
Yes, I am a kind of person that is passionate about service above self, and I must say that that was what actually attracted me to Rotary. You know, when you want to serve people, when you want to make an impact wherever you are, and I think this has been part of me, and it's all over, you know, by being leaders of different groups, and even among my friends where we don't have a structured organization or society or clubs. People will want Henry to lead and all that. So
yes,
it's been part.
So they have that trust in you.
Yes, definitely, and then you see the ability to bring people together has also been one of my values. I mean,
your strength.
My strength. Thank you very much. My strength. So it started a very long time. Even I remember anywhere there's Henry, everybody want to come there and all that. So because of that, I have decided to leverage on that and make sure that I maintain these values and be able to use this value to impact my people around me and the society. So when you look at, even in my line of business and also in my line of socials, all those are combined to make sure that I make a very good impact. When I started business early, you know, after my university days, even before the university days, I've been running this kind of business, you know, before.
Do you mind, sir, if I ask, what kind of business did you first go into, and what was like your first major break?
Like I said, I've always loved to distinct myself, and that is why when we were in the university, I have thought that everybody would want to graduate and go into the formal sectors and all that. So it was from there I started learning printing. You know, so it was in the university days I had to leave school and go outside the school, you know, to learn. I had always wanted a vocation because I want to have my own time. So because of that, so I have started that as early as possible, and immediately we graduated from school, even before our youth call, I've started my business, and I've always been.
So you already started making money
even before we left school. In fact, let me also quickly tell you this. I remember when I was in school, not even in the higher level in school, I would come to Lagos, you know, go to the island, hire films, you know, go to cultural center in the then cultural center in Ilorin, because I schooled in the University of Ilorin. Hire projector and all that, and take them to schools to show them films. There was not this there's nothing like online movies or this YouTube, and there was nothing like all this African magic and the rest
at the time.
So everybody, I sell tickets to students to go to the theaters. I hire the hall and show them films. Even I take the film as far outside my school, to Adeyemi College of Education, to other schools, the Polytechnic area and all the rest. I think the films, even while I was in school. And during the time I was learning these printing jobs, I would go out to my friends' father's printing press to print memos, cards you can send to your friends in other school and all that. So I've been doing this before I graduated. It was easy for me when I get out of school to quickly jump into this printing business.
Do you want to share some of the struggles, you know, like the challenges that you face, you know, starting up the businesses? Even at the moment, you know, that it comes with a lot of challenges being a businessman. Do you want to share some of that with us, please?
Truly, I must say that I've been a child of grace. Like I said, my story is a little different from what plays when somebody wants to start a business. I started a business when I like I said, was a student and being fed, being sponsored. So I don't have any kind of liabilities when I started the business. So what I get from my business are always extra. like I said, I was in school, I was doing some little business, doing these little printings, societies, associations in the school, they want to print certificates, they want to print exercise book as gifts for their students and all that, student associations and all that. So I do it for them. So I get extra from that, which is also a plus to what I get from home. So when I graduated, you understand, I moved into it before even my youth corps. So when I got to my youth in service here as a youth corps, fortunately I was posted to serve at the police college Ikeja. So as also, more or less to say, a student, I was widely accepted because I was to teach statistics, introduction to statistics for students of, for recruits in police colleges. So it's a mathematical oriented course, and I have to approach the commandant, and I said to him that, I mean, there's no way, because the class is always very large, teaching a 600 recruits class.
That's quite a lot.
So it's quite a lot. So it's not easy, it's not English, it's not something we have to write on the board and all that. So I made a suggestion if we could make a manual, like a manual and for the students, so that when I teach from afar, and you can even imagine my size, teaching a very long class. I mean, a class, So I made the suggestions to the commandant, and after so much argument here and there, he accepted for me to publish it into a book. So you can imagine, maybe that will answer your question of how the whole thing started. And blossom, So I have a printing background.
You do? Yeah.
So I'm lecturing. I've been requested to convert my manual, which we call handbook in those days, handouts in those days, into a book. So I wasn't consulting any printing press. I was consulting myself. So I immediately converted it into a small book, gave it to him to write the foreword. You understand? I started selling that book, though maybe at just a token of about 100 naira per book then. Introduction to Statistics for Police Colleges and all other related schools. So within my 1 year in the college, we've been able to reproduce, because it was then, I think, the police were asked to recruit people into the Nigerian police force because to meet the demands of the UNO or something like that. So we're having them coming in like every three months, and an average of about 6 or so. I was doing that, publishing the book and selling to them and taking to other police colleges in Nigeria, and from there, the other lecturers who are all police, I was the only civilian among them, also persuaded the commandant then to allow them, you understand, to also convert their own lesson notes into a small mini book. And I was consulting for them as a printer. I was publishing for them. So we did geography,
that's quite
we did
impressive,
English, we did all that. So before the end of the Rotary, before the end of the service year, you can imagine, I was almost comfortable being able to get my own apartment, being able to get a car for myself, and all the rest. And so that's the journey as well.
Oh, that's very good. Thanks for sharing that. So we're going to go into family now.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the foundation. Do you mind telling us, how did you meet your wife, sir?
That's quite interesting. Like I said, it's I have always been somebody who loves to plan. You understand? Though, despite the fact that we have our exuberances when we're growing up, we have friends and all that, I have determined the kind of woman I was going to marry. So fortunately, I met my wife through families, family parties, extended, family friends and all that, and I've always known the mom. So I determined that, I love this woman, and definitely she has a daughter, and her daughter, I will try and push and see if it will work for me. And fortunately, I was able to sail through, and widely accepted even by the family who had always known me, and that was how it started.
So is this you trying to bring us back into what our parents, like getting to know the family you're marrying from, okay, this is the family that I'm getting into. considering where she's come from, not just meeting somebody randomly and knowing nothing about it. So are you kind of advocating that is still something that people should consider, even in this generation?
Actually, like I said, my own situation, it's I have always known what I would want. It has always been part of me. So
and has that always worked for you?
And I don't want to generalize. You see, when you structure, when you determine what you want, and you are focused, so there's no distraction. So you won't say something is working for you or not working for you. It's a planned thing. You understand? So when it is something that you plan, so whatever comes out of there, you are okay with it. You are contented with it because it does. So it is when you don't plan things and you get distracted, and then this that you kept. Now you say that, oh, maybe this thing has not worked for me. I made up my mind. Like I said, I was going to marry from my hometown. I'm so.
And you did.
I apologize for that. I determined the family. As a matter of fact, maybe that should be off camera.
Were you going to say that you planned the number of children you're going to have?
I have the families. I have noted that, oh, I can marry from this family. I can marry from this family. I can marry from this family. My parents were teachers. The parents of my wife were also both teachers. The principal of the first secondary school, the biggest secondary school in London, the mother, the principal of the best female secondary school in London as well. So I made up my mind. Was your
mother-in-law?
Yeah, my mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law, yeah.
So I made up my mind as regard that. And also, the children were also planned. The space were also planned.
So you answered my question then.
Yes,
I know you both are high-achieving individuals, yourself and your wife. So how have you been able to manage, like family life, parenting, I know you do a lot of traveling, So how have you been able to manage all of that, please?
Yes, we've been able to manage that. My wife, I want to say, my wife is not the outgoing type. Somebody who loves to stay at home, who always loves to be with the kids and all that. So she was able to play that home front for the family. For the early part of the marriage, she wasn't doing so much. Apparently, maybe not really working, staying with the children and all the rest. And myself, irrespective of where I go, I come back home and still create time to relate very well with my children and the family. So it's not out of place. I know that I could have a busy schedule. Like what I said earlier on, when I know I've always known I'm going to be into a vocation. I'm not going to get into the formal sector and all that. So I also determined that, okay, my wife should come from that angle, should be somebody who will just go to work and come back home on time and all that. So we planned it, and she was, she's a teacher. Yeah. You understand? So she took to teaching at the early part of the marriage. So it's also easy for the children to attend either the school she works or somewhere around. So it's easy for her to drop the children off, go to the maybe next street or just almost the same place for and come back to pick the children, and they go back home. They are back home together. So it has always been like that, even till this moment.
So there's the balance there.
So there's a balance, kind of. So we've been able to balance that, and
that's very good.
Thank you.
Prince, why Rotary?
Yes, I will say that I was introduced to Rotary. We always say in Rotary that you are invited, but I got to know about Rotary, and I discovered that it's an organization that can bring out the values in you, because the motto of Rotary is service above self. And like I said, from the beginning of this program, that I've always been somebody who wants to impart life, who wants to serve people, who wants to lead. So I saw Rotary as a platform to exhibit these values in me, and I must confess that it has been so helpful, because Rotary will help you, to grow your leadership skills.
It does, doesn't it?
Quite a lot of trainings, quite a lot of learning sessions.
Yes.
Learn facilitation, quite a lot of things that you will learn all the stages, right from beginning, and all that. And it's also give you a platform to impact life in a larger scale, you know, putting your resources together with also millions of volunteers all over the world to do good in the world. So it gives you that platform, and it's also a platform for you to connect. I'm an extrovert. I always love to make friends and all that. So it's a very good platform for me, and I've enjoyed it in the last 30 years I've been in Rotary.
Because I was going to ask, what has kept you this long, you know?
Yes, like I said, I started so early as a Rotaractor. I spent about an average of about 7 years thereabout as a Rotaractor, and I also quickly after that, around that time, after school, and there's a little of affluence and all that, joined another 2 or 3 other friends to organize our Rotary clubs. You know, you will always be in a Rotary if you are involved, because there is it gives room for a leadership roles, and you climb, you know, the ladder. You know, like I said, I was a Rotaractor, a president in Rotaractor, joined Rotary, served at my club level, moved to the district level, served in various capacities, attend conventions, attend trainings all over the world.
Both local, international, so you're always on the move.
So you are there, so you keep on growing, and you keep on meeting people, you keep on impacting lives. You know, so when you do that, you know, it's a platform that you wouldn't want to leave, and I hope that I'm going to be a Rotarian till the end of life.
Which brings us to your current role, the district governor.
Yeah, that's right.
How are you feeling at the moment?
Well, I feel so excited, I feel thrilled, and I bless God for this opportunity to serve.
And what's your vision for this chapter?
To serve at this apex level of Rotary at a district level. You know, when you talk about district means a group of clubs, you know, number of clubs, you know, coming together to form a district. We have 6 districts in Nigeria.
6 districts.
6 districts. So, and mine, you know, is District 9111, covering part of Lagos and Ogun State. So
is that kind of like the southern part of the country? That's where you're a governor now?
Now, yes. Like I said, mine is just about part of Lagos and Ogun State. We have another district governor who covers, you govern a certain number of clubs. Okay. You know, because there is some volume of clubs, I mean, good numbers of clubs within this region. So is able to form a district. The other southern part, Lagos, Oyo, Kwara, belongs to another district because they don't have that number of clubs like Lagos and Ogun State.
I see.
So I will be leading that district come January 1st.
Yes, sir.
So like I said, I've been in Rotary for over 30 years, and I've been able to serve in different capacities.
Yes.
Before I was being nominated to serve as a district governor some 2 years ago. So I served as a district governor nominee designate. And
so you kind of have an idea what this new role is like.
Like I said, Rotary will give you all the platform to succeed as a leader. A district governor's tenure is just 1 year.
1 year.
But let me tell you,
yes, sir.
I was nominated some 3 years ago. I served as a district governor nominee designate. From there to district governor nominee, where I was sent to Lusaka, you know, in Zambia for training. I served as the district governor. I was also sent to Mauritius, you know, to serve, apart from the virtual learnings, apart from other learnings that are locals, learning sessions.
So you went to America recently. What was that about, sir?
That one is to prepare me for the final role. That is the last stage of my training. It's been called International Assembly, and to meet with other district governors all over the world.
Okay.
That was held in Florida, in Orlando.
In
Orlando, where we were trained, even with my spouse.
Yes, sir.
To also understand her role as the wife of the district governor. So I am sincerely happy, and I'm also excited and prepared, you know, to lead my district to a greater height in the next Rotary year when we're asked to unite for good.
Very well. So what kind of legacy do you want to leave for not just your family or people in your community, but for for a lot of other people who are watching us, you know, and for the younger generation? What kind of legacy do you want to leave for people?
Yes, thank you very much. I will say that my legacy as also that I would love to leave has always lean on the three pillars, you know, kindness, integrity, and service.
Kindness, integrity, and service.
So I want to be known for somebody who has impacted life, who has always been very kind to people, and who's always loved to serve humanity, even people around you and all that. And most importantly, with integrity, somebody that you can give an assignment, somebody you can trust, somebody you can go to bed to say, this is my friend, this is my dad, this is my mom. I mean, this is my dad, this is my friend. And you can be rest assured that you will always meet him. He will always be by his words. You will always meet him as a man who values all those three core things I've mentioned, values that I've mentioned, kindness, integrity, and service. So I want to say that by the special grace of God, we're going to live so long. By the time one is no more, you know, people will want to talk good about you, to say, yes, I met this man, this is my father. I mean, he was my father. That this is what Henry is stood for, and it is what Henry has been able to impact into the people around him.
And finally, sir, what advice do you have to give to people who are, you know, trying to juggle business life, family, you know, taking leadership role as you have done? What advice do you have to give to them, please?
Yes, what I want to say, it's very important you understand yourself and you are kind to yourself. You understand? In the sense that you must do what you are passionate about. You don't need to run somebody's race. You don't need to. So understand the values you have and put them into action. So when you are doing that, it's easy to, for instance, I've always been a businessman. And like I said, I mean, I've put over 30 years into Rotary. So I will do that. I'm also a family man, and a very good family man, I would say. So I've been able to manage these three things seamlessly, because they are things that I do with passion. So it is something that is purposeful, you know. I will not leave the home front. I've spoken to my family this morning. We've prayed together. We've discussed few things we want to achieve in this month. You know, today being the first day of the month, and also, I mean, after this, I'll speak to them in the office, and I also have Rotary engagement. Yes, you understand? So I don't see it as something burdensome. Yes. So that is why I've said that my advice to people is that identify yourself, be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself, you know. I mean, when you...
I mean, sir, talking about being kind to oneself, how do you do your own self-care? I know in all of this, it's busy, you know, trying to give back, you know, trying to be compassionate. Your own self, what are the things that you do to, you know, treat yourself, you know, take time out to enjoy and relax?
Yes, like I said, you know, that's the word I use, kind, is loaded. Yes, it's loaded, you know. And like I said, I have an engagement this morning, you know, it's a Rotary engagement. To me, it's a way to relax. Tomorrow, I'll also facilitate a retreat, you know. It's something that I love doing. So it's not...
It's natural.
It's natural. You. So it's a way to also relax. I love to connect with people. I love fellowship. Yes. You understand? I do that. I party. I talk a lot with my friends and all that. So and also very importantly, you know, when you do this, you do so well to your health
because you're happy.
Because you are happy. You know, you're happy. So that is why the emphasis of when you are kind to yourself, you eat what you want, you do what you like, want it, you don't feel it. You don't feel it, and you are happy about it.
Thank you very, very much.
It is my pleasure
for coming on conversation with Mrs. Van. Thank you so much. I'm really, really happy for you to, you know, once again give us this privilege. I know in your very tight, busy schedule, I really want to say thank you.
It's always my pleasure, Mrs. Pham. Nice having you too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Prince Henry has shown us today that true greatness comes from balance and not just businesses. So from royal roots to building businesses, serving the communities, he reminds us that success is more meaningful when it is shared with other people and with purpose. Let's stay inspired, and thank you for joining us on Conversation with Mrs. Pham. So for more interesting, interactive, educational conversations, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye for now, and God bless.